Hi, I'm Max.
And I'm Skylar.
Recently, we decided to start watching Bob's Burgers to see what it was all about.
And it didn't take us long to become completely obsessed with the show.
But one of the things we love the most about the show is the brilliant end credit sequences.
Which is why we created this podcast.
Each week, we're going episode by episode to talk about the elaborate end credits.
We're excited to have you join us right here on Bob's Credits.
We'll make sure the Bob's Burgers end credits get the credit they're due.
All right!
I can't feel my face, chip chipperoo. But I love it. But I love it.
That might be my favorite because it rhymes.
Because it rhymes?
Yeah.
They typically do. I try to rhyme some of the chip chipperoos. No, I guess you're right. But it is more fun when it's like, yeah,
it feels like a natural replacement.
Yeah. You sure it's not because you're obsessed with The Weeknd?
I'm not obsessed with The Weeknd.
You're obsessed with The Weeknd. You love The Weeknd.
I think that's you.
You're right. I am obsessed with The Weeknd. Moving forward, we are here.
Yep.
We are ready to talk about some Bob's Burgers end credits.
I'm just like gonna spoiler alert. I'm gonna call these iconic.
These end credits.
Yes.
You're saying these as in we're doing a 2-part episode. So
Season 4 finale. No, we're not. We're not doing a 2-part episode. No, we're doing a 2-part episode. I thought you meant we were doing a 2-part episode.
We're doing
You're
2
gonna
separate
cut this,
episodes.
right? Yes.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Both Bob's Burgers and Bob's Credits are going to have 2 episodes for this continuation story. Does that make sense?
Yes, the first to be continued on Bob's Burgers, season 4 finale. I didn't understand, like, the first time I watched these credits that they were iconic, but after doing a little digging and research, I'm very excited to talk about it.
And we're going to get all into that. But first of all, we've got a new patron on Patreon to thank.
We do?
Yes. It's our friend, or our new friend. He wasn't our friend before. We didn't know him.
Who?
Jeffrey Fishbach, who has been super interactive on Twitter with us. We've enjoyed his comments. He is like a...
Jeffrey is a true
Bob's Burgers fan. Yeah, he will...
Expert,
I would say he knows
/expert.
anything and everything. I think a couple times we've offered a couple of fun facts to him that he did not know.
Yeah, and
I felt special.
Offered us a few answers.
That's true. Yeah. But we appreciate his support. We appreciate all of our patrons on Patreon. Patreon.com/Bob's Credits. If you want to get on there, always good content on there. We're constantly putting stuff up there.
If you need more Bob's Burgers in your life, become a...
Or more of us. Nah. Okay.
I think Bob's is an easier sell.
That's true. Okay.
All right. I gotta say, let's do...
Bob Pun or Max Pun?
Yeah.
Okay. These are all themed. Any guesses for what I themed them? Think about the end credits.
James Bond?
Yes.
Oh, spoiler alert.
These are all James Bond movie titles.
All right.
Movie title puns.
We can talk about it later because we're just really jumping the gun here. Pun intended.
James Gunn.
No.
Machine Gun.
No, there's
Machine
a gun
Gun
at
Kelly.
the end of this episode. He's just doing that to mess with me.
Yeah.
He does that frequently.
All day, every day.
But I've never seen a James Bond movie, so this will be interesting.
I have never been a big James Bond fan. I apologize for any big James Bond fan out there. I've seen a movie here and there. I've definitely not seen all of them. I've never seen a Sean Connery one. Sorry. I think my first one I saw was GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan.
There's a golden eye and a golden finger.
There's a gold finger and there's GoldenEye. There's a man with a golden gun. There's a lot of
I'm just realizing
repetition.
that a lot of people may have no idea why we're even talking about James Bond. So,
spoiler alert, the end credits are a James Bond opening sequence theme.
Very, very...
Parody.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only James Bond I know is really Austin Powers.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate James Bond parody.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Your first pun is the I'll live and let die burger. which is a parody of 1973's Live and Let Die.
Bob.
Yes.
Cha-ching.
Your next pun is the quantum of salami burger.
Max.
This one was a trick one.
Okay.
It's Bob, but also kind of Max because it wasn't fully visible in the episode. So it was quantum of Sal, but you couldn't see what it was. So I just finished it on my own.
So do I get half a point?
You get half a point, I guess.
A piece of salami? I don't know.
Well, I'll give you some gabagool later.
Thank you.
So that's a parody of 2008's Quantum of Solace.
I'm already bored, just FYI.
Perfect. Great for this podcast for my co-host to be falling asleep over there. Your next pun is Dr. No Onions Burger. Regular burger, hold the onions.
Max.
Yes, very good. Parody of 1962's Dr. No. And your final pun is Goldfingerling Potatoes Burger.
Yum. You can throw potatoes on anything. Pizza, burger, I'm there. Max.
Yes.
I did pretty well.
I'm going to give you all of them. Parody of 1964's Goldfinger.
I will
as you
not
mentioned.
Take your pity one. I
Okay.
got 3 out of 4.
Okay.
And that's what it'll be.
3.5 out of 4, technically.
I don't know. Well, there we go.
One of the Austin Power movies was called Goldmember. A little parody there.
That's, yeah. Oh, I just got the penis reference.
Yeah.
See, I watched these when I was very young. That's why I want to rewatch them with you.
Isn't the whole thing is that he's got a gold member?
Max, when did these come out? When you're 10 and 11?
I wasn't that age when they came out.
Yeah. No, I didn't get that. But I get it now. My parents just allowed me to watch all those.
Austin Powers, for some reason, kind of like, it's all adults, gross humor, but for some reason, like...
Works on both levels.
I feel like a lot of parents let their kids watch that when it wasn't a kid's movie.
Yeah, totally. The times have changed.
You think they wouldn't let them watch it now? I mean, the humor definitely has not aged well, but...
No. Okay. All right, let's do this.
Okay. Skylar.
Yes.
Can we have the title and synopsis for Season 4, Episode 21, please?
This episode is called Wharf Horse, or... You don't think it's called Wharf Horse?
No, you're right. Sorry. I have it written wrong here, and I was like, mine is wrong. I have Wharf House. She's a wharf house.
Or How Bob Saves / Destroys the Town, Part 1. When Tina learns they're tearing down her beloved carousel, including her first horse love, Mr. Goiter, Louise locks her to him and makes her swallow the key in hopes of stopping the destruction. Meanwhile, Felix has a rich proposal for Bob. Literally, if Bob gets Mr. Fishoder to go along with tearing down the wharf in order to build condos, Bob's sure to become rolling in the dough and have a seaside restaurant.
This episode came out on May 11th, 2014. It was written by Nora Smith and directed by Brian Lo Schiavo.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay. Thoughts on this episode, Skylar Harrison?
Really, really enjoyed it on the second watch, and or
this was
third
our second
or fourth.
I think it was like our third
Yeah.
watch of this episode.
And then poking around a little bit, I know you did the research this week, but I did read a few reviews, and my appreciation that I already had for the episode grew like 10-fold, mainly because they're risking a different tone here. They're going so much darker. Were you like shocked by the darkness on your first watch of this?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe like the next episode, because this is a two-parter, when like Bob could like die, he could drown to death. That did not shock you?
No, because I didn't like expect that he was going to die.
Okay. Well, regardless of if you think that or not, like this is a huge, they're taking bigger risks tonally here. And the first hint of that is actually in the non-opening credits. We don't have the bright, cheery opening credits. We just have like a little bit of a intro card.
Yeah, I remember the first time we watched this and the next one, because it's, as we said, it's a two-parter. I wasn't into it,
Mm-hmm.
but super into it the second time. Even more, like, I feel like the more I watch these episodes, the more I enjoy them.
I agree.
And
some aren't as rewatchable, but this one, I just really liked it.
plus, it also led to us getting Biscuit a Mr. Goiter toy that did not last long at all.
It was the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
And it looked like Mr. Goiter.
It went beyond Mr. Goiter looks. It was like this pale, like barf stain green trying to be mint, and then like the black ink was like bleeding into the green.
And then it had like hair that Biscuit ate. So it did not last very long in this household.
Poor Mr. Goiter.
Mm-hmm. What else about this episode?
Oh, I have a lot.
Okay. Well, you have a lot?
Yeah.
You have facts?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Well, I have some too. So how are we going to do this?
No, you
Usually
go for
one
it.
of us only does the facts.
No, you go
I'm
for
throwing. This is.
You sounded really lost. I didn't know.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, as you said, no opening credits.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal. We don't get any puns at the beginning. It's a little bit of a bummer. But this title, it's a long title.
Yes.
It's a double parody
Oh.
of War Horse, which was a movie, as well as Doctor Strangelove, which has a kind of like an AKA title. It's Doctor Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. So that's the whole...
Is that a movie?
That's the whole How Bob Saves, Destroys the Town. Yeah, Doctor Strangelove.
I didn't know that was an AKA title.
Yeah, I think it's like, if you look it up, it's like the official title with parentheses.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the things Skylar and I love about the show so much is the continuity and their like devotion to once something happens, like the mechanical shark eating the ice cream machine and it has dents in the side for the rest of the series, their bathroom being changed and the bathroom stays that way through the rest of the series, Bob's tattoo. In the background on Wonder Wharf, there is a poster for the mechanical shark, but there's a big giant closed sign slapped over it, which is great. Just a little nod
that's
to
the first time we noticed it.
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's from season 3, episode 6. So
So
they're like
good.
sticking to that. It's funny to me because they could have just taken the poster down, but instead of the poster coming down, they just slapped a big old close sign over it.
I love it. I mean, that's what we're talking about. The wharf is like decrepit, and of course they wouldn't remove a poster. This is also the first time we see the bathroom again after Felix redecorates it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually uses it
Yes.
and doesn't wash his hands, probably because he can't figure out what is the sink. Another little fun fact is there's a little brief moment where Bob has a little fantasy about his Beach Burger restaurant. It's very short, but there's a little sneak preview of the big musical number, Nice Things Are Nice.
Really?
Yeah. Which then I want to talk about this big musical
we have
number.
To.
This
wait,
is the
wait. But before we get into that magnificent beast,
Yes.
what's the little sneak preview?
Probably just a little bit of the music from Nice Things Are Nice. Yeah.
Oh, and spoiler alert, we have some deep foreshadowing in the credits. We'll get to the credits when we get to them, but continue. Let's talk about this huge musical number.
This feels like where Bob's goes, yeah, we've been enjoying this musical thing here and there, but we're going full musical.
And I loved it.
It's fantastic.
Did you like it?
You know what? I didn't the first time around. The first time
You're
I was
kidding.
like, I don't know if I want them to start singing. Like, it's been such a good episode, but now I love it. I think it's so good.
Like, I want to sing it. I like listening to it. I like it's such a good parody of like Broadway songs with like Mr. Fishoder coming in behind him. And then we get the like sequel to the song in next week's episode, which is so good. And I just love Bob.
Yeah.
It's just a very lovable
I love Tina's
Bob.
little Mr. Goiter part of the song where she's like chained to him and
Oh, it's so good.
yeah.
It's so good. Speaking of that, just to rewind quickly, did you like the cute little Tina and Bob montage with Mr. Goiter?
Oh my God. Thank you for bringing that up. It is what is fantastic about this show.
It is Adorable.
First of all, baby Tina is the cutest fucking thing on the planet
So adorable.
with her big old glasses.
Bob is such an involved dad.
And until he's like, no, you gotta do this yourself at a certain point, you know? So when she's old enough and she falls off, she falls off. He's got, I think he's a good father.
I think so.
He knows when to kind of like back off a little bit.
He really should have intervened in the car scene. Our favorite Tina and Bob
when
scene.
she crashed the car at some point. He was trying to let her do her thing.
I know, and I really appreciate that.
She's ready to be an independent woman. He's trying to let her.
Yes, she is.
You know?
Amen.
Some returning voices, by the way. We mentioned that Felix Fischer is back, so Zach Galifianakis is back.
Amazing.
We're going to see lots of Felix moving forward.
Can I ask you a Felix question?
Yeah.
This just may be just wrong, but I was shocked at how evil he was in this episode. When we're introduced to him, he seems incompetent to me. A little bit. Like Mr. Fischoeder is like, they have little games to like lure him out of the bathroom, and like he kind of has to stick him somewhere because he's just kind of like that black sheep brother. Yeah. But then he comes back and he's like full on conniving, evil.
Maybe it's how, because Mr. Fischoeder is kind of out there and is like, oh, look at everyone is smaller than me, it's below me, and I'm right, and I'm... So maybe like around him,
yeah,
he kind of like talks down to Felix and he treats him like that when Felix is not necessarily like, maybe he's a little bit...
When he's on his own.
Like younger brother syndrome, I guess.
Yeah. I definitely want to talk about this too. I was just like, oh, Mr. Fischoeder is this huge metaphor for capitalism. And like, we can like, I was reading an AV article a little bit about this. It was a review on this episode. He can be like funny and weird and we like him. Like we like him as a character, but he's like a horrible human.
Yeah, he's awful.
He's awful.
He's awful. And even when they're, well, we'll get into this in the next episode when they're actually tied below the pier, but he is just like, he doesn't care that much.
Which is just like this like
he's
metaphor for like white privilege. Like he's about to like drown and he's like, like I'll rise to the surface. And he doesn't like turn his brother in. Which is just
I mean, none of them do eventually.
Yeah.
So
anyway, all right. Hit me with the voices.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay, so Felix is back. We also have Mickey's back.
Love you, Mickey.
Bill Hader. Olsen Brenner is back, doing some reporting.
Pamela Adlon. Ugh, I always get that wrong.
We always get it wrong. And Jordan Peele is back. He's voiced a couple characters up until this point, but he is back as, any guesses?
Well, if you're asking me to guess, I feel like is her name Fanny?
Fanny.
You're kidding.
This viewing for me, I think she's incredible.
I wish I had known before that it was Mr. Peele.
Yeah.
Because I kept saying to you, is that the Jocelyn voice? Is that the Jocelyn voice?
Right, yeah. Anytime it's like a man doing like a
oh my
Valley
God. Girl.
Yeah.
It is so good. And I love, maybe we should have done these episodes together because it's like too complicated to separate the plot out from each other. But like her stupid club song is like literally how they save the day by getting her too distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
character.
Yeah, I love it.
Anytime I wear hoops, you look like a Bob Side character. I think that's who you're trying to say.
Yeah, because don't you have hoops in our cover art?
Yeah, exactly.
Because when I had the artist do it, you were wearing hoops in the picture. So I was like, we should keep those in because they're very Bob's character-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway, go look at our cover art for Skylar's hoops. What else? You got anything else? Should we get into the credits? Do you have any other...
I'm going to do that thing where I go way deeper than I probably need to go.
Mm-hmm.
But in this AV article I read, the author said something that like totally blew my mind. Bob obviously has a change of heart because he's like, the wharf is the heart of the town. But the author of this article was actually saying that change of heart is kind of like a metaphor for the entire show because Bob could never leave and like screw over the town and become this like 1%er because how the wharf, this like familiar air, this like familiar weird place, that's what Bob's is. So like part of the reason we love him and feel comfortable around this world is because he's not successful and he's kind of like fumbling and always like he can't quite get to success. And if you make him successful by him tearing down the wharf and building these condos, then the magic of the show is gone.
Absolutely.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, you need growth, but not too much growth where the premise of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happened with the show Roseanne back in the
Really?
day. Yeah, they were like poor, or not necessarily poor, but like
What was a working
to middle-
class?
yeah. At one season towards the end of the series, they won the lottery, and we're just like,
What?
Yeah.
They just threw a bomb in the show.
yeah, it was like, what? Why? Why would you do that? That's not what the show is. I mean, obviously, this is also when shows I feel like ran too long anyway.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, that's so fascinating. Because I was actually thinking of The Office, and something that I'm constantly trying to ask myself is like, why is this so self-soothing to me? Why can I watch this a million times? And I think it's similar to why I like watching Bob's. Like, we all kind of feel like we're a little weird and we try really hard but can never like break through, and it's comfortable being around because at the end of the day, it's like, who cares? Who cares? They have each other. They have like this great, weird, fun life. And it's the same with The Office. It's like, yeah, they're stuck at these office jobs, but like it's these beautiful moments of the ordinary. That's why they're making the documentary in the first place about a paper company. But then Jim goes and does his sports thing, and it lost some magic for me.
yeah.
So it's
Also
the
a
everyman
problem with running
thing.
too long, but in an animated series, it's a little bit different. Keep Bob's Burgers on the air forever, everyone.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes.
Beat Always Sunny.
There was one other thing that I wanted to ask you about because you're way more of a Simpsons fan than me. But there's actually a Simpsons episode called Who Shot Mr. Burns?
Yeah.
And that's a two-parter.
Yes.
So, and both of the cliffhangers have to, they have like gunplay in them. And so I didn't know if that was like an homage to the Simpsons two-parter.
It could be. I don't remember. So it was a cliffhanger. I don't remember. So I assume that's what they. It wasn't a two-parter to end the season. I don't think it was one.
It was a two-parter
one
episode.
half with a cliffhanger. So everyone spent the off season like, oh, who did shoot Mr. Burns? Who did? And then we found out in the premiere. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, maybe that is kind of a little bit of an homage.
Yeah.
With the gun. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
It
I
could
just thought
be.
Simpsons.
Do you know who
fans-
shot Mr. Burns?
I don't. Who shot Mr.
Any
Burns?
guesses? You're probably the one person. It's someone in the family. How about that?
Lisa.
No.
The little baby.
Yes.
Oh, second guess. Pretty good.
No one was going to guess Maggie.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And it was what's fun about that episode, not to go talk about Simpsons, because there's plenty of other podcasts you can listen to for that. But what's fun about that is they set up so many like red herrings. Like everyone had a reason to shoot him in that.
Oh,
in
I
that
love
episode.
that. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
Agatha
really fun.
Christie.
Yeah.
I love that.
Should we get into the end credits?
Yes.
Okay. The last moment before this episode ends is Felix holding a gun on Bob and Mr. Fischoeder on the pier.
I don't understand how you don't think this is a darker tone than Bob's usually goes. This feels like real stakes.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I know that nothing's going to happen to Bob. Maybe what if they killed off Mr. Fischoeder?
They could.
Ooh, that would have been dark.
You're the old one. Look at your face. What?
Shut up! You're both old and you're both gonna die!
Oh, so you did mean both of us?
Yeah. Quiet, please! Wonder Woman.
So
Are you ready?
it ends with a close-up of Bob with the gun in the frame, pointed at him. Bob's freaking out and says, "To be continued."
And I'm sweating and I'm scared. And Max is like,
No, stakes
we're
are
good.
stakes are low stakes here. I'm not worried about it. The stakes have fallen on the ground. They've fallen off the grill onto the ground. That's how low they are.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That sounds like a high stakes situation to me. Stakes are expensive.
In Bob's Burgers, sometimes the stuff probably falls off the grill and they just put it back on.
No, Bob takes pride in his food.
Okay, you don't think Gene
Now,
did it?
Gene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Serious, because this is a very serious credit sequence.
Yes. So what we get this epic music, and we hear Linda singing Wonder Wharf.
Chills.
Very Shirley Bassey-esque.
Now,
who is known for singing like the ultimate Bond themes.
yes. So she sings all the Bond themes. I didn't know who that
Not all
was.
of them.
Okay.
A lot of them.
Eh.
I think she sings like Goldfinger.
Yeah. So for those who don't really know, do you want to listen to kind of
Shirley Bassey?
one of her songs?
Yeah, my mom loved Shirley Bassey.
You're kidding.
She would go to her concerts.
Really?
Yeah, she loved Shirley Bassey. Let me see if I can...
Have we played enough of the song so people can kind of see that this is definitely a James Bond
Let's
parody?
Let's play just a little bit
Okay.
more.
Wonder Wharf of Wonder.
Okay, you get it. It's all
Yeah.
drawn out. We're going to go through the animation that's in it because it's incredible and it's a very James Bond opening
It's
sequence.
so freaking cool.
Yeah. So here's just a tiny bit of Shirley Bassey singing Goldfinger.
Goldfinger, he's the man with the Midas touch.
You get it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun. I love that Linda gets her Bond girl moment.
Yeah, she's been dreaming of this for a long time. I'm sure John Roberts has been like, let me do a Bond song already.
And here we are.
Yeah, he's like, it's 4 seasons already and I have not sung like Shirley Bassey. What the hell? Let me do a Diamonds Are Forever. Diamonds Are Forever.
That was very good. Let's start with these amazing visuals.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the first thing we see?
So we see like a close-up image of like a carousel. It's this really cool like white version on a black background, and we zoom out to see the full picture, which is the wharf. So these are 100% James Bond opening credit.
Yeah,
art.
it's a little, and it's a little like, it's like minimal, I'd say. It's minimal with enough for you to kind of like know what the drawing is
I'm trying to
of.
figure out what kind of style this looks like. It almost looks like cut out from paper. There's like splatter, but anyway, the color palette we're working with this is not Bob's animation whatsoever.
Yeah.
Total style and tone change,
Yeah.
which mimics the actual episode because there's definitely a tone change, Max.
Low stake episode.
Okay, so we have the carousel, we have the Ferris wheel and the carousel to the left, and then another structure on the
It's
on the other left.
It's kind of like the top of the roller coaster.
the top of the roller coaster. So the Scream-a-Cane.
Wharf of Wonder.
All right, explain that transition to us.
Okay, when she's saying Wharf of Wonder, there's a close up of what pulls out, and we realize it's a gun facing the screen, so it's pointing at us.
Well, it's the Ferris wheel transforms into the eye of the gun.
And then it all pulls out, and we see kind of like a silhouette version of Felix.
This is a blue background and that same like black
Silhouette. kind of.
silhouette.
Yeah, and he turns to the side and shoots the gun in his hand, which shoots out like a long bullet. It's like
Yep.
a series of bullets almost.
Yeah.
Which then turns into the roller coaster, the Scream-a-Cane, on the roller coaster itself.
Yeah, on the wooden stuff, whatever that's called.
This is going to be the hardest one we've ever had to describe. I think the last one that took a while was the farts.
That was
The
really
fart
hard.
song?
Also, the commercial had a lot going on.
That's true.
But it's hard to explain, but it's so seamless. It's almost easier to explain.
And I also want to say that a few weeks ago, I was talking about how like sometimes they don't like do much for the end credits, and I'm curious, like what the deciding factor is. Like it was just Gail reciting her poem, which was in the episode, and they just kind of like put it in the end credits. This very clearly is specifically for the end credits. They went all out. It took a lot of time. It's incredible. I just wonder what the deciding factor is when they do these.
Yeah. And I feel like this, because it's a season finale, because it's the first to be continued, I feel like this is like a precious episode. They took more risk. I think they went all out with every aspect of this episode.
They took more risk, but they lowered the stakes for sure.
Shut up.
Okay, let's see what happens with this roller coaster.
Here, a bullet shot. Okay, that's freaking cool.
Okay, I wanted to let Linda sing a little bit.
All right, so this roller coaster goes it goes down a drop on the wooden. Retro is the word I've been trying to say.
Okay.
The artwork looks
Retro.
It's a retro style to mimic James Bond. So the roller coaster drops down on its white wooden frame, and now it goes up the roller coaster, a black roller coaster. But what
It
is
looks
revealed?
like it transitions to almost being like a train on going like over a hillside.
Yes.
But
yes.
what we see it actually is a silhouette of Linda lying down with her head kind of in one of her hands.
Like if you would lie on a piano.
Yeah,
Yes.
while you were singing this song.
Yes.
Yeah. And the train is going over the curves of her body.
It's very sensual.
Yeah. And that she's like all in black, but her glasses are in like red and white.
Yeah.
So we know it's Linda.
I think this is Linda's ultimate dream.
Would you say these end credits are in her head?
Maybe. No, I do not, because spoiler alert, they spoil next week's episode in these credits.
Oh.
So I don't think this is in Linda's head. I think the writers are like, we are going to mess with our audience.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see where this goes.
6 feet under.
Okay, what happens there while she's saying under?
Okay, so from the right side of the screen, we see a black and white spinning Mr. Goiter head, kind of going into the abyss.
And as we remember from the episode, his head gets knocked off. Is this in this
Yes.
episode or the next one?
I believe it's this one.
Okay, so it's just his head knocked off, and then what?
We see a pin-up silhouette of Linda. Her hands are on her booty. I feel like this is how Linda sees herself in real life.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Which I get. Because sometimes I'm just like really feeling myself. And then I see like a photo of myself. I'm like, you look like a child.
And I see you as one of these Bond ladies 24/7.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's paint my body gold.
Okay.
He wanted things that were nice.
Okay, what are you laughing at there?
This reminds me of so many different things. So we pull back and that pin-up, that gorgeous pin-up of Linda she kind of looks like a ninja dancing and she's dancing to, he wanted things that were nice.
Yeah.
And so she's like doing these like ninja dance moves and then she like.
I wish you could all see Skylar doing the moves herself. It's great.
And then she like kind of like a beret backwards off screen.
Yeah. And then we start to see kind of blood dripping from the top of the screen.
It is ominous.
Yeah.
Red. Oh my god. That was so cool. Tell us.
So the blood drips down from the screen, but
On a white background.
it kind of like shapes around white silhouettes of Bob and Mr. Fishoder. It's so cool. It's such good imagery.
It's so cool. And now this is literally showing us a scene, a very pivotal scene from next week's episode.
This next shot?
Yeah. Okay. So we have the blood has created these white silhouettes of Mr. Fishoder standing right next to Bob. Now
we know that they're going to be murdered completely.
No, keep watching. See these white drips?
Yeah.
Oh. Tell us.
Okay, so as Linda's singing Wonder Wharf again at the end there, so the blood drips down, but then it kind of comes back up.
Well, hold on. So we get white drips, which make these pillars. There's 3 pillars.
Yes. There you go. And then Bob and Mr. Fisher return back to back against the middle pillar, which is like in the next episode where they're tied together under the wharf.
Literally.
Or under the pier. And the white comes up from the top, and it's supposed to be the water that's rising underneath, the tide coming in.
Yep.
And
does it wash it completely white?
Yeah. It comes all the way to the top. And then goes to the end of the card.
Now,
and those are the end credits.
It's when it's like that big, like, I wish I were a good singer, but it's like, whoa.
Here, I'll play it again.
Yeah.
It's worth listening to.
Oh, yeah.
John Roberts is giving his everything to that.
On the YouTube video, everyone is like, oh my gosh, his voice is amazing.
His voice is amazing.
Everyone loves the song. They want a full version.
You want the lyrics?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it's Wonder Wharf, Wharf of Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
This won't end till Bob's 6 feet under.
It's true. See, foreshadowing for the next episode.
And this goes into what you were talking about, kind of like the metaphor as a symbolism. He wanted things that were nice, but will he pay the ultimate price? Wonder Wharf. Wonder Wharf. That's my slam poetry reading of it.
I love it. So can you believe that because as an audience, we don't know what the next episode is on our first view, but they totally give away the whole scene.
You wouldn't even know. Like, I don't know if this was a big deal because we didn't watch this live, so we didn't know like what we were waiting for the second half.
Yeah.
We watched them back to back. I don't know if it's...
But can't you, like, they end with that, like, gunshot and you're worried about them unless you're Max, in which case you're not worried about them at all. And then it's this, like, blood dripping, kind of like washing Bob away.
I don't know if I paid enough attention to these end credits the first time we ever watched it. You know, like
you're like, oh, it's a James Bond thing. I love the music. Okay, let's go eat lunch.
Yeah, I don't care. That's my steak fell on the floor. I'm gonna go eat it. The steak's slow. It's so low. I gotta go get the steak and eat it. Should we score these credits?
Yeah.
We score on a scale of 1 to 10 H's at the end of Tina's Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
11.
We can't do that, Skylar. We've tried to do that before.
Then 10.
And I will join you at the 10.
You will?
Of course. These are phenomenal.
They're so good, and they literally break the formula.
Yeah. I love the homage. I love John Roberts' voice. I love Linda getting to be a Bond girl and a Bond singer. I love the lyrics.
I love the art.
I love the art. It's fantastic. It's as good as the end credits get.
I like the risk they took.
Me too. It's out of the kitchen sequence, and we've loved those in the kitchen sequences.
And it beautifully, something we have never ever seen before is this end credit sequence leads us into the next episode. So we've seen, like, obviously end credits connect to the episode they're in, but this really calls to the next episode. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah. Because the to be continued there's like literally a gun in Bob's face. You can't go dun, 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 dun.
Oh, you mean like the normal end credits, like the
Bob's
Burgers
tone
name?
you would ruin,
because the stakes are high.
The stakes are so high, and if you did something funny, you'd ruin the momentum.
No, we need to be terrified for Bob for a whole week.
Well, I was worried about it.
Okay.
Okay.
You were worried about it for 40 seconds until we clicked onto the next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also, and we can talk about this next week, but like I was also very worried about him drowning. That was very disturbing to me.
Okay. We'll get into a little Bob drowning next week. Until then, why don't you go follow us on social media? Bob's Credits on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We don't like Facebook.
But we are on there, and
We're
we
on
need to start
there.
posting on there.
We're on there. Look, it might not even be up. Facebook is down all the time now. You never know. What else? Leave us a review, please. We'd love to have some lovely reviews from you. You specifically. You know who I'm talking to.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. If you just pointed at yourself and said me, yes.
You.
Talking to you. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
You know, I'm just so worried about Bob. I'm just going to say, stay safe.
I'm so scared for him.
Shut up. This, when you go missing, I'm not going to come looking for you.
How dare you?
Because I'm going to be like, no, the stakes aren't high.
No. He always said the stakes weren't high, so I don't think it's fine.
I think it's fine.